Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sohum Reactions. Peace, love, and positivity to you. Today's request comes from Rodney. Thank you, Rodney. He's sending us 3 additional songs from Heart, who, at this point in my reaction journey for Heart, I am confident in saying that they are the most well-known female-led hard rock group pretty much ever. They definitely were formative in that genre for so many groups that have come after, and really they still stand the test of time. It never feels dated when I listen to them, and I love that every single song is its own unique experience despite the sort of mean, if you will, being centered around rock. Like, for example, we could always enter a tangential world of like cinematic rock, of alt rock, pop rock, even like mystical rock. There have been a few Heart songs that fall cleanly into that unique category. Really, you never know what you're going to get, and that's part of the fun with listening to this group. Additionally, they're so good. They're masters at tension and release, and when you think like the high moment of the song has hit, they are able to like drive the knife in even further, twist it a little bit, and then push it further past what you think is possible. It's such a fun time listening to them. So I hope you guys are excited to listen to these tracks alongside me today. Yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. Also, happy Friday, guys. Almost like a call and response happening in the 2 guitars.
You were born to privilege, licking on a silver spoon. You think you'll burn out all your friends. Just so
There she goes, already rip-roaring over the guitars.
But your kind is a dime a dozen. I've seen it all before. A parasite in a good disguise. Just another wolf at the door.
Drums are kind of quiet relative to the guitars.
Prowling in the nighttime.
A lot less kick drum, way more hi-hat.
Gives you what you want, but he ain't no friend of mine. You lay it on all so sweet, just like that bad cologne. You're just smiling to the night.
Dude, it's all in the tone. Guitar tone and Wilson's voice.
But you're only a lonely hunter. Some things you can't disguise. Just you look in the hallway, bitterness howling in your eyes. Prowling in the night.
This reminds me of a Pat Benatar song. I'm forgetting which one.
Gives you what you want, but he ain't no friend of mine.
Oh, I don't know why my guitar teacher back in the day never showed me Heart. Oh. Whoa. See, there's like the mysticism above and the hard rock chugging along in the lows. It's such a cool contrast. Wow. This is reminding me. I'm almost. Okay, this is weird. I'm almost reminded of the guitar riff in Thriller, Michael Jackson. And I'm also reminded of I want to say it's an AC/DC riff or Judas Priest. My knowledge of both bands, honestly, is shamefully low for what it should be. Back in the day, like I played pretty much every song I could get my hands on in Rock Band, Rock Band 2, Guitar Hero 2, and then like a lot of the subsequent DLC packs. So I even like played a bunch of Heart songs without realizing it. Like Barracuda was one of the songs, like obviously Barracuda being one of their most popular tracks. But I played that song so much. There was another one. I think Paper Shaped Heart. I think that's by heart. Let me quickly fact check myself here, and then we'll jump back into it. Paper Shaped Heart. Artist. Who did this one? Maybe I'm misremembering. That happens. Anyways. I love the guitars like emerging from the distance, finding their way in the forefront.
Silent, slick and stealthy, slinking through your evil nights. You can see in the dark, they tell me, the daylight burns your eyes.
Da-da-da-da.
I know you're trying to track me down now. You're right on my trail. You're thinking you're going for the big, big game, but you're just
Her
chasing
voice
your
just
own tail.
pierces.
Prowling in the nighttime, howling in the moonshine. Gives you what you want.
What a cool sequence with the harmony, the multiple guitars. It just keeps looping on that. I love this song, just not letting go of you. This is a guitar lover's dream, man. When I discovered Heart, like in Rock Band Guitar Hero, I should have paid them more mind, and really I shouldn't have been as close-minded as I was back in the day. And I give myself some grace because like I was a child when I was playing a lot of those songs, and really I would only enjoy the few songs that like I could readily understand. But I feel like with age, with like my openness to music, Heart is getting so good. And part of what makes them so fun to listen to is not only the riffs, but the way that these riffs are carefully constructed. It's not as simple as you just have a lead guitar or like a very prominent rhythm guitar that's just playing the riff. There's usually interplay between the rhythm and the lead that jointly constructs the awesome riff in the middle. And then it feels like to the naive listener, oh, this is just all one guitar riff, pretty standard, but that's actually not what's happening. There's so much depth that's created just with the positioning of the two guitars in the mix. And then when you stack on top of that Anne's vocals, then the harmonies and the looping of the melody, you really get something that is far more superior than your average rock track. That's what makes listening to Heart so fun, because I feel like even their standard rock songs defy a lot of the expectations a typical rock listener would have. And I say this from the perspective of a 28-year-old who I grew up listening to, like, Breaking Benjamin, System of a Down. Those were like my formative bands. And with this channel and just throughout my life, I've almost like gone backwards chronologically to discover what's made so much prior rock music great, because a lot of that has informed the direction of rock nowadays. And even if you think of like the genres of metalcore, alt rock, different derivatives, you can hear where the influence comes from. And oftentimes too, they will be far less complex in their writing than a standard Heart song is. So to me, Heart, they have stood the test of time. Seemingly they will continue to stand the test of time too. I love songs like this. They do not feel dated to me. The fact that I'm just discovering them now is honestly a blessing, because I know for the next 20 plus, 30 plus, however long God gives me, I will be listening to Heart. They have such good music. One song deep, man. Let's keep it going. It says, I Don't Want to Need You. Okay, not mystical, but very gentle. The hints of the geysers around.
I used to think that love was a game, it
I don't know why I think of
just
geysers
for
when I think of
fun.
mysticism.
Oh yeah. When we spent the night together, it didn't mean it meant that much. Now I just can't live without your touch. I didn't wanna need you. No, no, I didn't wanna want
They simply don't have a bad song. Immediately, I know this is great. I can hear it, obviously,
I
but
didn't wanna care at all. I didn't wanna need you.
I can prospect what's to come too.
Like I need you now. Oh, I can't get no sleep, 'cause I keep thinking of you all through the night. Oh yeah. My eyes can't wait to see you again. My arms can't wait to hold you tight. Oh yeah. And when you're lying here beside me, there's nothing else I need.
I don't know why for a moment there I was thinking of Journey, Steve Perry.
I didn't wanna need you. Oh no, I didn't wanna want you like I do.
To me, this is a perfect blend of that hard rock and gentle rock style.
I didn't wanna need you. No, no, like I need you now. I've always been free to leave when I wanted to leave, but it's up to me, and
What is that?
I've always been free to leave when I wanted to leave.
It's like she sounds underwater, you know? Kind of like a harmonizer effect.
I've always been free to leave when I wanted to leave, but it's up to me.
Oh, I love the drums coming in. That deserves a standing ovation. That's what it's all about, dude. I love that moment so
I
much.
didn't wanna care at all. I didn't wanna need you. No, no, no.
Didn't want to need you.
Didn't wanna want you like I do. I didn't mean to fall. I didn't wanna care at all. I didn't wanna need you. No, no, but I need you now.
It's a perfect response to everything. Their songwriting is unparalleled. Was there ever a performance with Beth Hart and Ann Wilson? That would be a fun duo. Then I think of like Janis Joplin and maybe Aretha Franklin too. Throw in all the names. I like that song, man. I think the best moment in that song for me was when the electric guitar got re-entered the mix and pretty much took it over for then, and to carry the electric guitar energy through in her vocals, because she pretty much in her vocals is another electric guitar without all of the built-in effects. You can hear earlier like that kind of vocoder sound, but that's dubbed not necessarily after the fact, but at least contemporaneously. It's not only produced from her voice. Anyways, her voice is an electric guitar. It has the power of it. It has the urgency of it. She can really pierce through the mix like an electric guitar often does. So take a guitar, take Ann Wilson's voice. You really can't go wrong either way. And I like her delivery on a song like this, where it's a very honest admission about not being self-reliant, because the idea for like an independent person would be, I don't need anyone else other than myself. I am so confident in who I am. I'm so grounded that anybody else would actually deter the direction for my own growth. But instead, she acknowledges that she actually did need this person, that they did have some emotional pull on her, even though she didn't want that to have happened. So it's, even though maybe you could say like, hey, maybe you shouldn't want to not need someone else, but in the case that she doesn't want that, that's just her belief about what she wants for herself. She admits, like, even for my own standards, this like allure that I have for this person really pulled me in, and I ended up needing them. And I feel like that's a very important message for super toxically independent people to maybe hear. I don't know if that's a phrase. I'm just going to coin it for the sake of this reaction. But we do rely on each other. There's a level of interdependence that is worth pursuing, not for its own end, but because we don't have all the answers as individuals. We do our best to kind of understand the world, but we'll only ever get a sort of kaleidoscopic version of full understanding. The objective truth, whatever it is, as an individual, we will get close, but there's a limit. We reach that kind of limit very quickly. And having others who are helpful to us, who love us, who would like to share knowledge that they have with us, helps bring us further along that path, closer to that place of more cohesive understanding. And even still, us jointly won't have all the answers too, but I think we'll do better off with one another rather than at odds with one another. You know what I mean? If anything, let's opt for more neutrality towards each other. And hey, if we are of benefit to one another, let's throw all of our eggs into that basket. So I would kind of urge more interdependence versus pure independence or pure codependency. It's like two extremes there. I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. And I love that it's coming from Anne's voice, because you can imagine like being a female vocalist in a predominantly male-centered rock world. The voice that you have carries a lot like a differential amount of impact than other bands in a similar position might, because there are fewer female vocalists spreading the same message. So I think Heart will get a lot of attention, a lot of it good, a lot of it bad. And I've heard in various interviews and even in the comments of my Heart reactions, people attesting to a similar fact. But you listen, like, see how confident Anne is, see how confident they are as a band, as individuals. They were going to make their mark on the world, whether the world wanted it or not. And it just so happens that the world really wants and needs Heart. Let's check out the last song of the day. This one's I Love You. I do. Te amo, ti amo, je t'aime. Those are the few that come to my mind right now. Sagapo.
And I'm all alone, and I have some time to breathe.
Tujhse pyar karta hoon. That's Hindi for you.
So much damage done, I guess nobody won. Is it too late to make you see?
Very vibrato. You hear how huge the melody from the chords are.
Oh, darling, yes, I really do.
Harmony here, her voice there. Oh, what an atmosphere.
Oh, darling, yes, I really do. I know very well how it got this way. I was drifting on my cloud. There isn't much to tell, except you've gone away. And darling, now I'm reaching out.
I just realized if you rotate this little like eye logo 45 degrees to your left, kind of looks like the a version of the Green Lantern logo. Dude, I would love to hear John Lord on this track. Oh, sing it, girl.
You gotta know it's true. I wish that I had you now, the way that I had you then. Darling, I'd take you and hold you and kiss
Come on.
you over and over again.
This has like album closer energy. Singing from the soul right there. Bright strings in the right headphone.
Maybe we can try to get back to that place when
I love the reverb on her voice.
passion
When she stops singing, her voice continues.
standing face to face, you will see it in my eyes.
What a dynamic set of melodies.
Standing face to face, you will see it in my eyes.
It's a lot of notes.
You will see it in my eyes.
I love the softness over the top there.
You should know it's true.
It's so fresh.
Oh, let me tell you how much I really do. Oh, darling, you know I really do. Oh, darling, yes I really do.
Dude, how could you ever ignore Heart? After discovering them, like, I was pretty much convinced that I would love most of their songs, and literally every single track has delivered. Maybe it would be easier to like name the bad Heart tracks, and please, like, don't just call a song bad just to say it's bad. Like, if there's genuinely a song from Heart that doesn't hit the mark, let me know, because honestly, I wouldn't believe you if you did. Maybe there's like different eras of Heart, and I remember reading that before Heart ever became Heart, like the Wilson sisters joining, I think it was in '73, there were different iterations of Heart. I think they even had name changes. I want to look this up quick, because it was a male-led band back in the day. Heart Band Evolution. Let's see. So the rock band Heart evolved from their Seattle roots in '67, originally as the Army, into one of music's most pioneering female-fronted acts. But there was another iteration. I believe there was also White Heart, but AI is not helping me. Hold on. The Army. Okay, yeah, so I'll read this from the wiki. Heart is an American rock band formed in Seattle '67. The band evolved from previous projects led by founding members Roger Fisher and Stephen Fossen, including the Army from '67 to '69, Hocus Pocus from '69 to '70. Oh, I didn't even know that was an intermediary step. I think I did a Hocus Pocus reaction a while ago. And White Heart from '70 to '73, all of which came before Heart. So for all intents and purposes, they have been around for even longer than they've been around for. Some of that previous energy getting carried through, but really, they are known as Heart. That's pretty much it. You don't really need to go in my opinion, you don't have to go too far back to figure out where all of that great energy came from. It pretty much started immediately with the Wilson sisters joining. Of course, there's going to be more history that I'm unaware of that probably adds some unique context to this evolution, but the place that they ended up in with Heart, 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10, however many numbers you can think of out of 10, is just so fun to listen to. Of the 3 songs we heard today, I think my favorite was I Didn't Want to Need You. I thought that song was a very beautiful blend of the hard rock style with some of the softness. And weirdly enough, the hard rockiness was in the foreground of the mix, and the soft chords and the sort of sweet, somber, beautiful melodies were further in the back. Imagine like a sushi, like a nigiri, something like that, where you have like the meat, the taste up front, and then the rice below. Like the rice is soft and nice, but all of that flavor is in the front, and that kind of combo leaves your mouth watering even after having tasted, whatever, the food. When I start talking about food, you know I have to eat, so I'm gonna end it there. Hope you all enjoyed the reaction today. If you did and would like to request one yourself, please use the first link in the description box below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.